Welcome back to Saturday Daybreak. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. And for many of us out there, many people out there, you've got all kinds of different family dynamics going on right now. A lot of people include step-parents, step-children, step-grandparents, and that's the reason that they're going to have this Building a Successful Family Conference. We've got Danny here. You are going to talk with us a little bit about what this conference does, and tell us, too, why you guys felt the need for it.
Well, I'm a youth pastor at Geyer Springs First Baptist Church, and seeing kids come through our ministry, every student is somehow tied to a family, and there's so many different dynamics that make up those families. 1 in 3 marriages that take place every year create a step family. So whether that's from death of a spouse or a marriage that didn't quite work out, the new marriage coming together is not just bringing 2 adults together, but somehow trying to add to that mix kids and teenagers and even adult children. And how do you make that marriage work? Looking through those different studies, we found out that 60% of those marriages end up in a re-divorce, because it's one thing to try to make a first marriage work. When you begin adding the attitudes and the concepts and this whole idea of another household that is affecting your own household, it brings it to a whole different dynamic. And so we've found Ron Deal, who's coming in, actually from Jonesboro, Arkansas, has been teaching on marriage and family relationships for over 20 years. So he's going to be coming in to talk about how do you make those dynamics work, what are some strategies, some tips that you can do in your own family to make that whole new step family marriage work.
And Carolyn and Jim, you guys have lived it. You did that, and did you learn anything along the way? I mean, obviously you can identify maybe with some of those experiences just what it's like to kind of blend 2 families together.
It's really tough. What we wish we had were resources like Ron Deal has put together, especially his book on step families, smart step families. We have survived 33 years, from the grace of God, from going through the hard knocks without having this kind of material available. It is refreshing as we've read the book. All of the things that he talks about are the kind of challenges that step families are going to deal with, especially if there are children in the family. And so we would really like to encourage people to come to this conference to get some of the skills that'll help them be much more successful, or if you're considering marriage and there might be children involved in that especially, this conference is for you.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting too that you guys, over 30 years, and it's still interesting and good for you to read too.
Oh, we have, he is so right on, because I've just highlighted everything.
Yeah, you have, yeah.
Actually, the holidays, that's one of the big tips he hits, because holidays are stressful anyway, and then when you put in another set of families and another set of grandparents, it can be so stressful. So you have to be flexible and, you know, have the best date for your children to attend, and not just make them go to 4 Christmases in one weekend or that type thing. And he also talks about ex-spouses and just the relationship that you need, because you have to be civil, because you're going to end up going to school events, weddings, babies, so you're going to be together.
You're kind of linked, yeah.
You are.
All
so, you know, just because you're divorced doesn't mean that you're not going to see those people anymore. And so it's just nice. It's a nice gift to your children if you can all get along.
Absolutely. A big gift, I'm sure.
Definitely.
And we also want to tell you, you guys have so graciously brought these 3 books with you, and if you are interested in reading up on something that you guys all have said, a great help and a great resource, you can be the 7th caller right now. There's the number, 1-866-462-8255. 7th caller. You can get all 3 books, and then of course tell them real quick in a few seconds just where it is and how they can get there.
It's 2 weeks from today, January 29th and 30th. You can get information, 425-8061. Also go to www.gsfbc.org to get information.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for being here and for sharing a little bit of your story too. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
All right, well, coming up next on Saturday Daybreak, we're going to go into the garden with P. Allen Smith and see what he's digging up. We'll be right back.